Hello, welcome to Critical Joke Theory with your host, G.D. Fenderson, Certified Forensic Humorist. Now with new joke technology. Hi, I'm G.D. Fenderson, Certified Forensic Humorist at large, but I'm losing weight. Welcome to Critical Joke Theory, episode 101. Now with new joke technology and 13% more snark and still open caption for the humor impaired. Richard Chamberlain, the actor known for such shows as Dr. Kildare, Shogun, and The Thornbirds, has died. He was 90. A lot of panties of a certain age are at half-mast. The 3 times Golden Globe winner died of complications following a stroke on Saturday afternoon in Waimanalo, Hawaii, just days before his 91st birthday, which would have been on March 31st. After founding the LA-based theater group Company of Angels in 1959, Chamberlain got his on-screen start in episodes of Alfred Hitchcock Presents, Gunsmoke, and Riverboat, where he played a dreamboat. Chamberlain's breakout came in 1961. He came out in 2003 in his 2003 autobiography Shattered Love, a memoir. Over the years, Chamberlain also starred in such films as The Three Musketeers, where he played Aramis, Eau de Toilette, The Towering Inferno, The Count of Monte Cristo, The Man in the Iron Mask, where he played King Louis XIV and Philippe, and The Swarm, where he played the Queen Bee, as well as shows like The Bourne Identity made-for-TV movie, Touched by an Angel, Will and Grace, Nip and Tuck, Desperate Housewives, and Twin Peaks: The Return. Rest in peace, Richard. There is no return. Val Kilmer, best known from movies such as the 1986 Top Gun and 1995 Batman Forever, has died. He was 65 years old. His daughter Mercedes Kilmer said he died of pneumonia on Tuesday, April 1st. He was diagnosed with throat cancer in 2014 and later recovered, she added. Kilmer made his final appearance on film in 2022's Top Gun: Maverick, a sequel to the 1986 classic. Kilmer's early films included comedies like Top Secret and Real Genius, and the fantasy film Willow. I was told when Willow came out that it was a prequel to Star Wars, but according to Pace magazine, Willow is not a prequel to Star Wars. It is a direct sequel to the 1988 fantasy film created by George Lucas and directed by Ron Howard. His breakout as a leading man came with his mesmerizing leather-clad portrayal of Jim Morrison in Oliver Stone's The Doors. I know many a person who thought that Val Kilmer was Jim Morrison. After his outing as the Lizard King, which I did not know until just now that was what Jim Morrison called himself, Kilmer opted for scene-stealing co-starring roles in Tombstone, True Romance, and Heat. Val Kilmer was also in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, Thunderheart, and She Tain't. My bad, The Saint. Technically, his bad. Rest in peace, Val Kilmer, Val Kilmer, Val Kilmer. I'm sorry, that was just for my wife, Carol. Rest in peace, Val. You were no one's Huckleberry. Larry Tamblyn, the founding frontman and keyboardist for the Standells, brother of actor Russ Tamblyn, Riff from the original West Side Story, and uncle of Amber Tamblyn, has died. He was 82. His cause of death is undisclosed. Of course it is. The band was known for such songs as their 1966 hit Dirty Water, which is still played at Boston sports games. In addition to 1965 episodes of The Munsters, The Bing Crosby Show, and Ben Casey, the Standells also appeared in low-budget films as Get Yourself a College Girl, 1964, and Riot on Sunset Strip, 1967. Rest in peace, Larry. Enjoy your new home. It ain't exactly Boston. Atlanta rapper Young Scooter, who was born Kenneth Bailey, died on his 39th birthday, Friday, in a freak accident that occurred while fleeing a confrontation with police. It was a freak accident because he wasn't killed by a policeman. On Friday, March 28th, officers, quote, responded to 273 William Nye, Bill Nye for short, Drive, southeast in Atlanta, in reference to a dispute with possible gunshots being fired, close quote. And a man reportedly fled the scene on a scooter, which turned out to be a man fled with young scooter, according to an initial statement about the incident. After suffering a leg injury in the quote brief foot chase, close quote, police said they quote rendered aid, close quote, but young Scooter was later pronounced deceased. I thought it was pronounced young Scooter. On Tuesday, April 1st, the Fulton County Medical Examiner released the rapper's cause of death, confirming he died from a penetrating injury of the right thigh, ruling the manner of death an accident. Police arrested Demetria Spence on Tuesday. She's being charged with transmitting a false public alarm. April Fools. A judge granted her bond on Wednesday, but as of Thursday night, she had not bonded out of the county jail. Quote, I hate that had to happen, especially on his birthday, close quote, said a family friend. Quote, it was unnecessary, close quote, for me to buy him a gift. Rest in peace, young Scooter. Worst April Fool's prank this year. Donald Trump has been criticized for his absence during the dignified transfer of 4 U.S. soldiers who tragically lost their lives in a training accident in Lithuania. Instead, the convicted felon attended a live golf event at his Trump National Doral Miami golf course on Thursday night. Look, Trump just killed the economy. How much death can one acting chief executive take? Pete Hegseth was there, and he kept Trump up to date with a group chat on Signal. Hegseth sent Trump 3 U.S. flag emojis, a fist emoji, a flame emoji, and 4 coffin emojis. Trump responded with a 25% tariff on the soldiers because they were imported from Lithuania. On March 31st, a French court found far-right leader Marine Le Pen guilty of misappropriating European funds to finance her party. Under EU rules, lawmakers receive funds to cover expenses, including staff salaries, but these funds cannot be used for party expenses. The European Anti-Fraud Office revealed that Marine Le Pen had misappropriated approximately 137,000 euros from EU funds for internal party needs and personal expenses while serving as a member of the European Parliament from 2004 to 2017. That's $149,932.80 in US dollars. What kind of party did he? What kind of party did she throw? She was sentenced to 4 years in prison and banned from running for public office for 5 years. She got off light for someone who didn't get off at the party. On Tuesday night, United States Senator Cory Booker, Democrat of New Jersey, concluded a marathon 25-hour speech, which broke the record for the longest speech ever made on the Senate floor, previously held by staunch segregationist Strom Thurmond. Booker, seen here thinking of the filibuster he has waiting for him at home, used almost all of the 25 hours to criticize convicted felon Donald Trump, special government employee and tech billionaire Elon Musk, and the, quote, harm on Americans, safety, financial stability, and core foundations of our democracy, close quote, he said the convicted felon Donald Trump has inflicted. While the historic speech is making headlines, it's also going viral online, and a lot of people are throwing the word filibuster around. Booker's speech was longer than the longest filibuster in Senate history by about an hour, but it wasn't technically a filibuster. The original record was under different rules. If those rules were applied to Senator Booker, then it's only 3/5 of a filibuster. Liberal Dane County Judge Susan Crawford scored an unexpectedly easy victory in the high-stakes race for a crucial seat in the state Supreme Court of Wisconsin in the most exclusive judicial race in United States history. Crawford, 60, had received 50% of the vote to conservative county judge Brad Schimmel's 45%. Decision Desk headquarters called the race less than an hour after polls closed at 8 p.m., long after Musk's checks cleared and his promises bounced. Quote, as a little girl growing up in Chippewa Falls, I never could have imagined that I'd be taking on the richest man in the world for justice in Wisconsin. And we won, close quote, Crawford said to Cheers, referring to the $26 million plus billionaire Elon Musk spent in an attempt to defeat her, or $11 per vote. For that kind of money, Elon could have bought a personality. Schimmel took the stage about 9:20 p.m. to say he had called Crawford to concede. Quote, you gotta accept the results, close quote. He said, adding that the numbers were not going to turn in his favor. And Trump is going to turn on Schimmel. Republicans don't concede. The numbers may not lie, but as a MAGA candidate, you have a duty to lie. Representative Jerry Connolly of Virginia, the ranking Democrat on the House Oversight Committee, obtained private emails that show the acting commissioner of Social Security, Leland Dudek, purposely canceled contracts the Social Security Administration holds with the state of Maine as some sort of political payback against Democratic Governor Janet Mills. Social Security staff reportedly told Dudek that Maine, like all states, has a contract with the Social Security Administration that allows infants to be assigned Social Security numbers at birth from the hospital. The contract also aids in state death verifications. Cutting this service means that the newly born and the newly dead have to appear in person at Social Security to conduct business. Dudek told his staff to, quote, please cancel the contracts. While our improper payments will go up and fraudsters may compromise identities, no money will go from the public trust to a petulant child, close quote, Dudek wrote, referring to Governor Mills. Canceling the vital records contracts would make it more difficult for the federal government to track births and deaths in Maine, hampering efforts to prevent fraud across the government agencies, all of which use Social Security records to prevent improper payments. You know, the very thing that DOJ is supposed to be doing. Dudek was forced to restore the contracts less than a day later, following the immediate pushback when Maine announced it couldn't assign parents' Social Security numbers for their newborns at hospitals in the state due to the cancellation. At the time, he said it was unintentional, which is Trump speak for, I didn't think you'd challenge me. Judge Paula Zines granted the preliminary injunction and order that Kilmer Abrego Garcia be brought back to the United States by 11:59 p.m. on Monday. She found that the government did not dispute that there was no legal basis whatsoever for his deportation. Trump attorney said, but, he has a tattoo. She found that the government's arguments that she was powerless to order him brought back to the United States were without legal merit, and she found that he was suffering irreparable harm with every day that goes by while he is separated from his family, and while he is detained under such harsh conditions in the infamous Secot prison. Quote, he is not being detained based on any Salvadorian legal process, but rather he's being detained because the United States government has requested that he be detained. And so, for that reason, she found that the defendants do have the ability to bring him back to the United States, and she ordered it. So, Trump has to comply, right? The Trump-controlled Justice Department is unlikely to prosecute any of the administration's own officials for contempt, particularly for defying court orders in cases the agency itself is handling in court. So now we wait. At least we can wait at home while we have homes, unlike Kilmer Abrego Garcia. And finally, my Yeah, I Said-It-Torial. After 4 p.m. on Wednesday, Trump declared that it was Liberation Day, and then he left to go play golf. He waited until the markets closed because he didn't want to be around when we were liberated from our savings and retirements. The next day, as we watch the markets tank, as Trump might put it, like nobody's ever seen before. Trump was attending a $1 million per person fundraiser for his super PAC. The NASDAQ is down. The Dow is down. The S&P, or Standard & Poor's, is so bad that the new standard is poor. And the Russell 2000 stock index is down. I'm 65 years old, and I am just now learning that there is a Russell 2000 stock index, and it has 2,000 companies listed in it. That's how bad things are. I learned something new. We are losing money from places I didn't even know had money. Trump signed his executive order, which applied tariffs on about 185 countries and territories. This included 2 places where there are no permanent human inhabitants: Heard and McDonald Islands near Antarctica, and Svalbard and Jan Mayen in the Arctic. Both have been hit with 10% tariffs, and neither has any imports or people of import. Do you want to know who's not on the list? Cuba, Belarus, North Korea, and Russia. We are still importing about $3 billion worth of products a year from Russia, excluding brides, and they're invading Ukraine. And by they, I mean Russia, not the brides. Once the tariffs have been applied to our products, we are screwed, even if the tariffs are removed. During Trump's first term, he put a tariff on steel. This caused the average price of a washing machine to increase by $200. Biden removed the tariffs, and the average price of washing machines dropped by $75. You guessed it, people were so delighted that the prices came down a little, while the extra $125 got pocketed. Not by us, but by greedy fucks and CEOs. Once prices go up, they seldom go back to where they were. Thank you, sir. May I have another? Trump claimed that we were in a state of economic emergency. Well, not according to economists and The Economist magazine. Our economy was the envy of the world. The Republican-led Congress can declare that the state of emergency is over. The Senate held a vote to end the tariffs on Canadian goods, and it passed 51 to 48 with Republican Senators Rand Paul, Mitch McConnell, Susan Collins, and Lisa Murkowski joining the Democrats. The House is a different story. Mike Johnson is preventing new business from coming to the floor by declaring that this current legislative session is one continuous day. Now, I can explain it to you exactly how that works, but then I'd have to wake you up. And to say that Mike Johnson is asleep at the wheel implies that he is in the driver's seat to begin with. Trump is turning our country into a third world nation, and the banana Republicans are aiding and abetting him. Like in Jonestown, they have drunk all of the Flavor Aid. Yes, it was Flavor Aid and not Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid was too expensive. We have 2 choices. We can drink the Flavor Aid, or we can fight and phone and march in furtherance of a better tomorrow today. Better yet, let's fight for a better today today. JP Morgan says that thanks to Trump's tariffs, there is a 60% chance that we are going to go into a recession. That's for the well-off. Those who are living from paycheck to paycheck, the recession is here today, and we have Trump to blame. Not Biden, not Harris, not the Democrats. Trump owns this. Let's stop him from owning us. Don't give up your power or the fight. Everyone can do something. Find your something and do it. That was my Said-It-Torial, and I'm G.D. Fenderson, Certified Forensic Humorist. Now with new joke technology and 13% more snark. Thank you for watching Critical Joke Theory, where our motto is, I purport, you decide if you decide it right. If you enjoyed it, please like and share it. And please check out Done Way Past Funny on YouTube, Knob TV, and Spark TV. Also watch the Church of Last Resort streaming live on Sundays on YouTube at 9 a.m. Eastern. Feel free to check out my website at www.sogdfunny.com to access more of my content. Be safe out there, and don't feed the crazies. Critical Joke Theory with your host, G.D. Fenderson, Certified Forensic Humorist. Now with new joke technology.